Turn to border security. Meanwhile, President Trump threatens to close the border with Mexico if it does not do more to stop illegal immigrants from reaching the United States and cutting aid to 3 Central American countries. I spoke to South Carolina Senator Lindsey Graham on Sunday Morning Futures yesterday about the crisis situation at the border now. The president declared he is likely to shut down the border, the southern border, next week, unless Mexican authorities immediately halt all illegal immigration. We've got two caravans coming to the country right now. Your reaction to the president's threat?
We've had 100,000 people cross the border illegally in March alone. We're on track to over 1 million this year if this keeps up. So Mexico could help more. They should help more. The Triangle countries, 70% of the people coming here illegally come from 3 countries.
Yeah.
We need those countries to help more. So if the president feels like that the only way to control this problem is to move the people from the port of entry to the ungoverned spaces where we need a wall, I will support him.
Joining me right now is the Washington Examiner commentary writer, Tiana Lowe. Tiana, good to see you. Thanks very much for joining us. What kind of an impact would that have, shutting the border? And we should point out other presidents have shut the border entirely.
So the big issue with our border is less, the physicality of it and more our asylum laws. So the issue is that, anyone who winds up on American soil, which is before where any physical barrier is, can simply claim asylum. And as long as they go to one court date, they're usually released. So the constitutionality of shutting down the border will come into question. But this is a president empowered by the release of the Mueller report, empowered by the fact that Congress failed to override his national emergency declaration. So he will do what he wants.
Yeah, that's a good point. Having said that, the reports show that over 100,000 immigrants are expected to have crossed in March alone. So we're talking about 100,000 in March. You just heard Lindsey Graham say 1 million in the entire year. What's your reaction to actually the activity right now at the border?
So we're obviously seeing heightened traffic because word gets around that our border security is sort of overflowing. There's too much work to be done with the amount of resources that we have on staff. And more than anything, it's these asylum laws. Every reporter that I've spoken to who goes down to the border, they all say the same things. The problem are the asylum laws, less than the physical barriers. If the laws themselves are broken, then there's not much that any physical fortification can do to stop it. So it is just a word-of-mouth situation. If people know that there is a good chance that they won't get caught, there will be increased activity.
Is there anything else the president can do at this point?
This is why messaging is so important. And the problem with Trump is that he takes issues. The president takes issues that should be broadly popular and turns them into 50-50 issues. Enforcing existing immigration law should not be controversial. Yet Democrats have been taking this hardline position. If Trump makes the message not about Muslim bans, not about vastly changing our existing immigration laws, but about enforcing what's already there, that's a messaging war that he should not have a large ability to lose, because I think that most people agree in order for us to be a sovereign nation, we must have borders.
Yeah. Well, most people agree, but they agree differently on how to solve it, right? The president now is fighting a battle in the Congress even to get the appropriate money to actually finish building the wall.
Yeah, and the difficulty is that every single time he is apparently sidestepping Congress in the national emergency declaration, trying to redivert funding, it makes it seem as though he's the aggressor rather than just the person who's trying to enforce existing American law. And so that's why messaging here is so important. Yeah. The American public has to be on his side.
All right, Tiana, thanks very much for weighing in here. Tiana Lowe joining us there.